So please help me welcome Teresa Merryfield, Super Squirrel.
Welcome everybody in District B.
Division.
District 42, Division B. Thanks for being here. We appreciate that you're online with us. To give you just a really brief rundown on who I am and why I'm here and what qualifies me to be here is that I am a trained coach. I took my coach training 13 years ago and was in practice for 10 years after that. And one of the first things that they teach you in coach school, is, are you and your client on the same page? Coaches, think of yourselves as the owner of the agreement. And what you're doing is you're getting everybody paddling the same direction when you get the coach agreement signed. That doesn't just say, thanks, Randy. Sorry, distracted squirrel. That doesn't just say that, here's a piece of paper, I need you to sign the bottom. That means that you call a meeting. You have a face-to-face. You're creating relationship. Everything that you do with your club is you're creating relationship. But not only are you creating the relationship, you are teaching them how to be in relationship with you too. Historically, what happened was we would throw a fabulous human being into a club and say, go fix it. And then a year later, the club's frustrated because the coach is telling them what to do, interfering with their culture. The coach is frustrated because they are doing all the heavy lifting. So you have a frustrated coach and you have a frustrated club. With the club coach agreement, the idea is to go in, find out what their goal is. It's not about your goal. You actually don't matter that much. What you want to leave them with is a legacy. So that's the teaching part. Teach them how to be in relationship with you and teach them how to hear the information that you're going to collectively create. It's co-creation. So what we did was, in the same way that I would have a new agreement with any of my clients, I created that and put it down on paper for you to be able to use. You don't even have to create it. All you have to do is pull it up. Where do we pull it up? It's right there. D42TM/club-coach-program/. And that will give you all of the tools that you need. You don't even have to make them. Okay. So, get together with your executive. Book that meeting. And don't book it for an hour. This is where you're setting the foundation of what's going to happen in the next year. How are you going to show up as a human being and as a coach? How are they going to show up as human beings and club members? They have to be at least as invested as you are with their success. Because you're leaving. We recommend that you do not join this club. The reason that we would recommend that you do not join this club is because you lose that perspective. You lose the ability to look at the problem from outside. Right? So with the club coach agreement, there's a coach's role. There's 4 points there. I know that you're all very intelligent human beings. Read it, but read it out loud with your executive so that they know what your job is. And then there's a part that's the club role. What's the client going to do for themselves, right? Have you ever, okay, swimmer. Gord, you're a swimmer. Have you ever done a rescue pattern?
No.
Okay. So if your swim coach was floundering in the middle of the pool and then passed out, how much easier is it to pull a body that's at rest than it is to pull a body that's flailing about. At rest is easier than pulling a body that's flailing around. So is your club flailing around trying to do the right thing to help you out, but really they don't have much direction, right? So the club role part, for those of you that are online, you can take a look at it when you open it up. Sorry, you got my back. Okay. So here we have it. So this is the coach's role. And you can find this printed out for yourself, mark it up, make it your own property. And then this is the club's role. They have a bigger role than you have. And that's okay. That's exactly how it should be. Put them to work. Ask them what they want. Can you support them in what they want? Or are they just circling the drain? Right? It's really hard to pull them back out of the drain. But if you can get them before they get to that point, you're the cheerleader. Coaching, part of that is patting them on the back and saying, great effort. You're amazing. And then part of that mentorship part of this effort is excellent. Keep doing what you're doing. But have you thought about doing this as well? That might add to your success. As coaches, we have an agreement with D42. What are we going to do for the club? And remember when I said that we threw good people into bad situations and expected that they were going to be 100% successful? You having this agreement in your head as far as who you're going to be as a coach, who they're going to show up as a club, and then the agreement. What are you going to do? Are you going to come to training? Are you going to educate yourself? Or are you just going to do what you did before? Isn't the definition of insanity doing what you've done before and to no effect? We're trying it again and again and again and again. So we want you to be successful. The agreement as a club. And so the agreement as a club, as I said, more extensive than the agreement as a coach. You're not there to do heavy lifting, but you are there to show up. Figure out what they want. Make them state their goals. Make them sign off on it so that you are teaching them how to be successful. At the end of the year, they should be able to perpetuate the standards that they have put into place into their culture to make themselves successful. So you see the spot where it says, we have read and agreed to the above. Get everyone on the executive to sign that. And if they're not available, if the executive isn't showing up for executive meetings, talk about that. How committed are we? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your commitment level? On a scale of 1 to 10, what are you expecting at the end of the year? That's an easy way to ask those questions. And it gets them responsible to themselves for whatever the answer is. On a scale of 1 to 10, how far along are you in teaching the next executive how to be good coaches, good stewards of the people that are walking in the door and signing on the bottom line on the membership form? I'll just say, so with the club coach agreement, you have that, but most of you, or many of you, will be working in tandem with another coach. Book a coffee with that coach. Sit down and talk about how you're going to show up as a team. Has anybody ever seen a Venn diagram? 2 circles that cross over is a Venn diagram. And the part that is the crossover part is where the commonality is. That's who you are as a team. So we have one personality and the other personality. And if you never have a coffee conversation and go over that instrument that's already part of your toolkit, you could be working at cross purposes. You might not understand each other's way of doing business. And when you get into each other's way, it becomes a tug of war. One's pushing, one's pulling, one's pulling, one's pushing. But you're not a collective team. You're not an effective team. So get it together before you ever step into the club. I do things this way. This is what brings me in and engages me. This is what pushes me off. So if you ever embarrass me in public, that is a push, and I don't want to play with you anymore. Right? So decide what it is. What's your push? What's your pull? And ask them what their push and their pull is. So go over that coach-coach agreement as well. We want to give you the best tools that are possible to offer. And in doing so, your responsibility as coaches is to read the information that's there for you. We have created something that really is very special. There is nobody else in Toastmasters that we have heard of that's doing it exactly this way. So please, please, my challenge for you today is to go to the website, take a look at what's possible for you. If you haven't been successful, take a look at why and move it forward. We can only learn from those things that we stumble over, right? So congratulations, coaches. Thanks for those of you that are in the room. Thanks for those of you that are in Saskatchewan or zooming in. And I will now turn it over to Christina.